Guys, deluded. Arsenal 2, Everton 0. And yeah, it's pretty sweet being an Arsenal fan these last couple of fixtures after a dreadful start to the season, to both exaggerate and to put it nicely. But yeah, definitely in regards to this game, we might as well talk about the player performances, or I might as well review them in the way I saw it, the lens I saw the game. Different opinions are welcome. But let's start with the keeper. So yeah, Peter Cech, I give him a 10 purely because today he dealt with every question asked of him. Before I talk, obviously we all saw the great saves he made. He made a number of great saves, whether it was from a free kick or good shot stopping, or people were played on side and they just had efforts in it. He stood up to be counted. Depending on how you look at it, you could say his ball playing was a bit so-so, but I think that was okay today. I felt he was very vocal today as well. But for me as well, why I give him a lot of praise, handling, set pieces, crosses, all sorts of them things there. Cech has an issue with that, or you've seen Cech fumble it, or you've seen defensive errors. I felt Cech answered every question of them sort of things put to him. Clearly we know the man's declining, but you have to applaud the man who's not going down without a fight. And performances like this, especially when Leno didn't necessarily do anything wrong, although we conceded 2 goals midweek in the Europa League, you can't really turn around and say he should be dropped now, and that's what you want to see as Unai Emery. People are asking why isn't Leno playing, and you put performances in like that, no one can tell you anything. So it's down to him to keep doing that. Mustafi, I give him a 5. I feel he just done just enough to get a 5, but for me, it weren't really a convincing performance from him. You could see even Socrates at times kind of getting onto him, telling him you don't need to do certain things. At times his ball playing was good, especially in the second half, but at times just inventing problems for him. Stay on your feet at times, you don't need to be doing certain things. And it was just, I just felt he was, when we were getting pressure invited onto us, I felt he was one of them that felt guilty of that. I'm not saying here he was like Bambi on ice and them things there, but I just don't feel he had necessarily a good game. But the team upped it in the second half. He can walk away with a 5. Socrates, I give him a 6. Went back onto the left-hand side, and I felt he was commanding. He dealt with everything put to him. The only wrong thing I could put fault to him is actually conceding the foul for Theo Walcott that Mustafi actually invented. It's a shame he's injured. Hopefully it's only a dead leg and he can be back in training and them things there. Probably misses out regardless in cup duty. I believe we're playing on Tuesday, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. But I'll give him a 6. His substitute, Holding, he didn't play amazing, but he didn't play poorly. He dealt with the questions asked for him. He read the game well. Passing was decent. Yeah, he done what was needed, and he put in a convincing performance. And it's tough breaking ahead of these centre-halves. I feel people probably ask questions of Mustafi's performances, but all you can do is play well, Holding, when your chances come. So I'll give Holding a 5. We can't go OTT. I felt Bellerin, on one hand, I felt you were showing Richarlison inside too much. You clearly know Richarlison, okay, occasionally he'll take you down the flank, but more often than not, he wants to come inside, link up with his Everton teammates, or have an effort, which not just Bellerin, we was allowing him to do that wherever he popped up on the pitch too often than not. And on another day, he scores, and he is a tricky customer. But I think Bellerin walks away with a 5. Done all right defensively, but there's still a lot you could have done better. Nice to see you put in a couple of good balls, but your crossing was very so-so. But it's good that you were still getting in them positions and still putting balls in. I don't necessarily think he was poor today, but he's all right, innit? He can walk away. Second half, when everyone upped it, Bellerin did too, so a 5. Monreal, I feel he was decent in the first half, providing an option down the left-hand side with Aubameyang, who I believe had a good game on that flank. But I felt his standards kind of dropped and he got a bit sloppy in the second half by his usual standards. Monreal's normally one of the better performances game in, game out. So I give him a 5. Xhaka can walk away with a 5, but similar to Mustafi, it's just about... even on the ball, you guys know I'm a big fan of Xhaka, but even on the ball, he's not doing much to justify being in the side, and his strengths are being outweighed by a lot of cons. A lot of wayward passes, inviting pressure, but a lot of good passes, clipping it over the top, and I felt your tackling was okay today. But still, like, especially when we're playing out from the back and it's slow and it's inviting pressure, you don't really have an awareness as to who is over your shoulder. You're just playing blind passes. Very schoolboyish in that act. So a 5. Torreira gets an 8. At times I feel he's diving in a bit too much, and you're gonna pick up a lot of needless yellows. You might injure yourself, and we might concede a goal because you're out of position. But firm in the challenge, intercepting, anticipation, ball playing, combative nature was what we wanted to see. An 8. I mean, he was involved in the first. He won the ball back that led to ultimately Ramsey playing in Lacazette for the first, so an 8. I'll give Aubameyang a 7. Similar to Torreira, I felt that he was one of the better players on the pitch today. Torreira was superb, and I felt so was Aubameyang on the left-hand side, particularly in the first half, because I actually feel he was playing better than Lacazette. I actually felt Lacazette could have raised it a bit in the first half, even though he wasn't playing bad, and he played a number of decent passes. But down the left, he did all right. I felt his link-up play and his downright ability on the ball was a bit better today. You're seeing cheeky flicks. You're seeing a more confident lad. Like, you're seeing him try things. You're seeing him link up. You're seeing him come off the flank. You're actually seeing him track back. I actually felt he really deserved the goal today. And obviously, big up to you for making sure the fantasy team gets some points again today, Aubameyang. So you get a 7. Lacazette, I give him an 8. Superb second half. First half, he weren't playing poor, but I felt by his normal standards, Lacazette's normally, when it's looking like making things happen, Lacazette's normally at the thick of it, provoking challenges, mixing up the play, doing all the damn things. He was doing that in the first half, but I don't feel it was quite by his own standards. I did think he was quite quiet, and I did at one point think him and Aubameyang should probably switch on the basis that it's a new centre-half pairing that them Everton man are going with. Ball over the top. They don't really know how to communicate. Aubameyang's strength is more pace. It did look like, because Lacazette's more of a physical presence compared to Aubameyang, if you could say that, they were content to just mark him and double up on him and clip his heels and things. He tried, but yeah, second half he turned it on. He obviously scored the first after some great play and not giving it up. But if you remember the second, he actually nudges, I think it's Zuma in the build-up to it. He put in a combative display, and Lacazette's top dog, like I said. And like last Premier League game against Newcastle, if you keep scoring goals, you can't come out the team. I mean, he had to wait, start of the season, not getting a look in, and it's looking like he's going to stay in there. So he gets an 8. Who else is there? Ozil played within yourself a bit today for me. You were dropping deep. First half, I had a lot of sympathy for you. Second half, you was part of the man there running the show. But if I'm honest, Mesut Ozil holds you by high standards. I thought you could have played better. You weren't appalling today, but it's a 6. Ramsey, again, like Ozil, I think you can walk away with a 6. I'm not too sure if Ramsey he does technically have an assist, right, people, for that goal. I can't even remember the second, Aubameyang's. I don't know if he actually controls it or it runs through his legs, but it's probably an assist. Improved second half. He looked to provoke. He was touching and going, making runs, doing that sort of stuff. He was quite anonymous for me in the first half, but I feel he gets to walk away with a 6. So that's my player ratings. Iwobi, can't really give him a rating because he came on, but I don't really think there was enough time out of the game to really stamp his mark. Did look a bit tired and a bit rusty. That's probably what he needs to introduce into his game, that consistency, 2 games in a week, but I'm reading too much into it. Welbs is Welbs. Again, can't really review that. Obviously, Holding came onto the pitch. I don't believe I'm missing anyone else out, guys. So what more can I say on that front? Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.